Hello everyone, I'm Kat with Artisan Designs by Kat. I'm going to be making a special 4th of July soap today. So I'm going to kind of go over the recipe really quick, let you know what I use. Once again, you can use the recipes all you want. I have no problem with it. You can sell it, do whatever. I'm gonna just kind of go over. First of all, I use for my program, I use a Soapmaker 3 Professional Edition, but I always recommend that you at least, at minimum, go to SoapCalc, Soap Calculator Net on the internet, and run your recipes through there so you get the right amount. You put in the right amount of oils for the size of mold you have. I'm going to be using my Essential Depot mold. I'm going to be using my trusty IV Fluid Twister Spinner Dilly. I'm going to be going sideways like this with it today. I want to kind of catch all the hooks and crannies of it, but I'm kind of going to be doing it more in the center than all over. First of all, I'm going to be using, the first ingredient's lard. I'm going to be using 40%. Well, do it this side. Or if you speak Spanish, this side. I'm got this at a local grocery store, but really I just transport the 50-pounder into these smaller containers to make it a little more manageable. I'm going to be using 76-degree coconut oil, and I'm going to be putting that in at 15% of the recipe. I have my trusty castor oil. I'm going to be using 6% of it. So there's that. Soaper's choice. I don't get paid for any of these advertisements, but if they would be willing, that would be awesome. I have shea butter. I'm going to be using the shea butter at 8%. I'm going to be using the cocoa butter at 6%. I've got, well, I just used this bottle, once again, 35 pounds versus, yeah. I have, this is Palmas olive oil, and I'm going to be using it at 25%. So once again, the lard is 40%, the coconut oil is 15%, the Palmas olive oil is 25% of the recipe, castor oil is 6%, cocoa butter 6%, and shea butter 8%. All of that totals up to 100%. I had to make sure with the program because otherwise I might get it at 95 or something and not get it right. Now I've got my lye, and I'm going to be using an 8% super fat recipe, and so on this, yeah, just the 8%. And so if you plug it into the soap calculator, 8%, it'll tell you exactly how much lye to use and how much water to use. I'm also playing with water discounts. I'm going with a 5% this time since I don't usually do a lot of water discounts. I just go with the program and do it as it is, and it gives me plenty of time, but this time I'm playing around a little bit. I'm going to be using titanium dioxide for the white, red iron oxide for the somewhat red color, and ultramarine blue, which will probably fade to a different, just a paler blue. Like I said, we're just kind of in CP soap or cold process soap. Sometimes the colors morph a little more, and you know, that sometimes makes it fun, just waiting to see what it's going to turn out to look like. I really don't want a lot of discoloration, so I'm not going to use anything with a heavy vanilla in it. I'm going to use, I know this oxymoron here, black raspberry vanilla, but really the vanilla content, it just, it soaps fairly true, and it smells so good. So that's the recipe. I'll be using my trusty gloves. I'll be having my glasses on when I'm dealing with my lye, and that's about it. So that's it for the intro. Let's get to soaping. Okay, so I've got my oils melted. I've got my lye water ready to go. I'm putting my gloves back on, and we're going to start making some magic here. Magic anyway, I hope. we'll see about that. But I've got my trusty stick blender. It's gonna make some noise here really quick. Probably wake up my husband in the meantime. Try not to spill any of the lye water. You can see the change in the color from the oil to now that it's kind of looking like it's starting to emulsify a little bit. The loud stick blender out. That'll probably wake up my husband now. Just going for a light trace. See how creamy and milky this is now getting? I don't know if you're seeing in the meat in this. I've already added in my fragrance oil because of the way I am. I keep forgetting to put it in if I leave it till the end. So I put it in with my oils before I mix the lye. I'll pour a little bit of this into 3 different things. I'm going to use the titanium dioxide in the most of it. I'm just going to have bits and swirls of the blue and the hopefully reddish color. Part of the scheme of things anyway. I know you're probably just looking at my arm right now. I don't know if you can see the little scars all over it. One year I decided on the 4th of July that I could stop a fountain that had fallen over by doing karate blocks. Yeah, that didn't work so well either. My husband at least found out that day that I would dive in front of a bullet for him, because whenever the fireworks had tipped over, it was a fountain, and so it had multiple shots aiming at us. I dove in front of him and got one smack dab right in the middle of the chest. Burned a hole in my shirt. I didn't know I could move so fast. Okay, so I've got my mold here. I'm going to start with putting a layer of regular color of the soap. Now I'm going to mix some titanium dioxide in the white, for the white anyway. And here's some blue. And here is the red iron oxide. Start with the titanium dioxide white. Can you see the color? Getting a little more white. So I'm going to go with the red, or iron color, I should say. We'll see. Get as much of that away as possible. Mix blue just a little bit with this first. Well, okay, that dollar didn't last very long. See what happened with it? A little handle broke off, so I can't use that anymore. I think it's time to spend another dollar. We'll put that right over there. Rinse this off really quick. Well, that was disappointing. Oh well. I hate to waste money. Okay, so now we're going to make the blue. Okay. Beautiful shade of blue. Now, try to get these to where you can see. I'm going to put some white in. Oh, darn. Okay. I'm a huge mess. Try to do it from this other angle so I don't spill anything. I'm going to do some red. I'm going right down the middle is the plan. Save a little for the top to make a little design with. Got some little dabs here. So I know that other people out there have other stories of horror stories, I guess, with fireworks. One time when I was a little girl, I vaguely remember some getting underneath our car, and the rest of our fireworks were under the car. So, yeah, that blew up. Not the car was okay, I guess, but I remember getting a burn on my leg pretty bad from it too, so. Why do I still do fireworks? I don't understand. Anyway. Even though I spilt that on the side, I still have a little bit here enough to work with. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to do my little swirls and see what happens. So I'm going to start here. Kind of going in the middle to the outside. Looks kind of pretty just that way, doesn't it? See if I can get enough out of this to make some pretty colors on the top. Just kind of blobbing it on. Had my scraper over by my stove. Now, why did my recorder stop recording for a moment? I don't understand. Hopefully it didn't miss out on a whole lot. If it did, sorry. Look at all these pretty colors drizzled on top. Kind of looks like a child's painting, doesn't it? Or maybe some expensive multi-million-dollar abstract art. We'll just call it that. I'm going to start the bidding on this for, let's say, $15 million. You do it in increments of thousands. Or we'll just use it as soap later. Now I have these little bamboo skewers that I use sometimes, and so this is what I'm going to do with here. So I'm just going to swing back and forth. And make a nice pretty swirl. Let's try it this way now. Pretty paintings. I'm just going to leave it at that. Let's see what happens.